Following the success of the 2017 film adaptation of Captain Underpants, Dreamworks was interested in making more films of a similar type set in its universe. Dogman, another one of George and Harold's comic creations in universe, was announced to be getting a long-awaited theatrical appearance to help expand the world building. This is a guilty pleasure at its finest, but also a very gorgeously animated one. I listed it as 2025's first great movie when I watched it last year, and it definitely earns that title. It was the first major hit of 2025 and the first to get great reviews and become a critical and commercial success. I was really hyped on how Dreamworks would adapt Dogman in film and use a similar animation style like before, and it for sure lived up to my expectations. It manages to get me hooked into the book series more, and also sparked immense curiosity in me who wants more from this universe. So, what similar footsteps does Dogman follow in Captain Underpants' shadow? How does it bring its source material onto the big screen? And why is it similarly moving for the whole family? In today's movie review, I'll be talking about the 2025 comic book adaptation, Dogman. Let's see why this doggo is a super good boy and deserves more movies. First off, this Dreamworks film adaptation stays very faithful to its source material. It does something very similar to what Captain Underpants, the first epic movie, does. It captures the subversive silliness of Dave Pilkey's work perfectly, truly feeling something from the book as if you're flipping through the storybook. This movie also uses a lot of word symbols to help make the film truly feel like a book come to life. It also proves itself as a massive love letter for fans who loved the Dogman books, as the writing is similar and there are loads of Easter eggs that only the truest fans would understand. It also helps expand its small source material's world a lot more, paying homage to Captain Underpants and acting like a similar continuation of it. It helps the viewers be reminded of older and more forgotten movies, and also George and Harold make a cameo appearance, ensuring their official place. I hope we do get more Dogman or Captain Underpants movies soon, because I enjoy the books, so I would enjoy the films like in my old childhood days. As to be expected from present day Dreamworks, the animation is gorgeous, being absolutely top notch and amazing. I said this during my Captain Underpants movie review video, and I will say it again. This movie's animation is extremely impressive for such a low budget. It has choppy, stop-motion like movements and scratchy textures that literally make it feel like pages ripped straight out of the books, as well as the drawings and colours. The choppy feeling comes off as more of an achievement in adaptation rather than a recurring issue, making it more explainable. It's exactly what you'd expect from a movie based on a book, with endless amounts of charm and hand-drawn segments, perfectly capturing the spirit of reading the source material. It's also a neat combination of some of the most recent movies released by Dreamworks, alongside some of them other comic book adaptations, movies from recent times. There are great elements also mixed into the adventure as well, making the everlasting experience more rewarding. Dogman, as in the books, still has a lot of the classic humour and slapstick, which is still really brilliant and will leave kids entertained consistently. It's not just some dumb jokes that heavily rely on dog puns just because the movie is based on Dogman. It instead focuses on the charm that made the books memorable, and all of which are beautifully translated on screen. I always thought the origin story of Captain Underpants was funny, but the origin story of Dogman is somehow even more funny, with a police officer and his pet dog being injured during the opening sequence, and both are placed into a coma that will probably not heal. So instead, the police officer's dog has its head sewn onto the officer's head, making the character reborn as a dog-human hybrid. It's really hilarious, but also an absolute joy. Also, the "life's not fair" running gag is funny as well, and Chief is hilarious as well. It's essential to the book's charm that it parodies many action tropes and also has adult references to keep adults entertained. This movie also has some great voice talents that fit very well with its classic characters. Staying true to the character, Peter Hastings does Dogman's voice flawlessly with his barks, expressions, and no speaking. He also provides the voice of Officer Knight, the one who gets reborn as Dogman at the beginning of the film. Another shout out is Pete Davidson, who is widely considered to be the highlight with his performance as Petey the cat, bringing a ton of fun and life to the orange kitty. To help bring his story to life, Pete mixes his character with genuine vulnerability and sarcastic wit when it comes to being the world's evilest cat. While he's the most evil cat and the true rival to Dogman, he eventually has to come to good terms with Dogman due to Flippy the Fish becoming the main antagonist after all. Finally, Lil Petey is such a cute little sidekick that helps redeem Petey throughout the film, as well as bringing a liking to Dogman, and also cleaning the tragic backstory of Petey after his parents were separated from him. Finally, this movie has plenty of morals and themes, as well as emotional depth that also stay very faithful to its source material, and they also make a delightful return from the books. It manages to tackle stuff such as redemption, family, and abandonment. Doing good is a choice you get to make every day, and love isn't just a feeling, it's also something you do. As I said before, the relationship between Petey and Lil Petey provides a strong dynamic between a father and a son, and ultimately leads to the former's redemption, much like in the books, providing a great message of bonding as well as having some time together with your loved ones. It also shows the importance of being true to oneself, which the title character basically shows us with everything he does in the entire film alongside the other characters. It's said to be a very silly concept with a hybrid of a cop and his dog, but it also has a heart that makes it more than just a kids movie. Speaking of the importance of doing good, one more thing that helps you out is becoming a better version of your current self, as seen with Petey. You'll get plenty of emotion out of this simplistic movie. This movie is all good fun, but like its fellow Captain Underpants movie, Dogman has significant issues with its pacing, not being very well executed and being rather rushed. I thought it wasn't an issue at first, but now I look at it, it's a problem. It moves at an overwhelming speed with tons of tonal shifting that's very messy, and the jokes feel very rushed. It also tends to crowd in way too many plot elements that are barely talked about. Because of this, the relationship between Sarah Hatoff and Chief is extremely rushed and straight out of the blue, with no story involved with them under any circumstances. It also doesn't blend its dark themes well with such goofy elements, making it not as smart as a move as you may think, some of which might have been a bit better executed if it had managed to give the characters some more depth instead of being forced. For those looking for a calmer, light-hearted and slice-of-life feel to the source material, this one may not be it for you, Chief. Dogman is a great adaptation of one of Dave Filkey's creations, and is also one that will please its targeted audience. As a massive fan of this type of source material, I was in love and awe here. Alongside its faithfulness to the books, it has some gorgeous handmade animation, the writing and slapstick are brilliant, the character development is done very nicely, and the emotional depth mostly works wonders for a human hybrid of all things. Though the pacing could have been a bit better, as it makes the film feel very rushed up to the point where we'll have to wait for a sequel to see more of this type of stuff. But as is, this movie is really good, and as someone who was a massive fan of these books, they got to make more of these types of movies, as I find guilty pleasure in all of them, and if this is the art direction that Dreamworks decides to go with, it's definitely going to be a good thing. I'm very happy that Dreamworks is returning to their glory days of delivering mindless but very charming and good fun movies, especially since the 2000s. I give this good doggo a bone, and so should you. Dogman is a super cop that will instantly delight kids. Go and write your own review on this anime adventure in the comment section down below, and I don't care if it takes a montage. An amusing and exhilarating adventure that will tell youngsters to sit and stay before it's all over. Dogman is a super treating rendition of Dave Pilkey's source material, which can leave its audience fetching and stretching for more. My final score for this Dreamworks spin-off is a 9 out of 10 and a grade A. Much like the Captain Underpants movie, This movie is almost perfect and just as you'd expect for a film based on a book. A memorable one to be exact. I'm a massive fan of these types of characters, and I really hope in the future that they have more movies. Heck, even TV shows I wouldn't mind. As long as Dreamworks keeps this underrated franchise alive and well, I will continue to have these everlasting books inside my childhood memory. But with that being said, leave a like on this video if you guys did enjoy my review on Dogman, and also remember to subscribe if you are new, and hit that bell icon to see more content on my channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you all later. Take care of yourselves.